I'm just hoping that I don't end up with heat stroke. Probably gonna turn on the AC. It's 6 p.m. I should tell my wife to turn on the AC in the bedroom. But I'm hyper focusing right now. So let's get on to chapter 4, which gives us adversaries, which is basically just the bestiary, which are the monsters. The book has a lot of them already, and it's not a monster book, but it does have a lot of options, and options are good. And there's a lot of variety when it comes to the monsters, and there's a lot of variety to monster abilities, and the book does tell you how to make them. It explains how to balance them. It even gives you a small table of the ranges their damage and difficulties should be in for the tier that the players are in. That is excellent, grade A stuff. What I will like, however, it's a book with more abilities. I ran my one-shot with 2 monsters that I created myself, and I created their abilities. One of them did have abilities from another monster, but I modified them, and it's very easy to create your own creatures in this book with their own HP and their own mechanics, because the book gives you a lot of ideas to work with, and that is great. Something that a lot of other books, I have to admit, fail at. Looking at you, D&D, you do not help game masters because you want people to buy 2 fucking books, 3 fucking books, 1 for the player, 1 for the game master, and 1 to make fucking monsters. Fuck you for that. This book contains everything to do that. Then in that chapter also has something called environments. And environments are like a way of, like a set piece is the best way I could describe it. An environment could be the players crossing a perilous bridge, or it could be the players investigating a town. It's a whole lot, because it's in the name, it's the environment. Now the environment could have encounters in it. It could have social encounters in it. What I did in my one shot, I had 2 environments. One of them was an event. The players were in a forest, and there was this giant demonic metal machine plowing through the forest and capturing woodland spirits. And the environment was for them to eventually destroy the machine or turn it off, which they did. There I did a mechanic called a countdown. In my homebrew system, it's called an extended test. It's basically the same thing, except that in this game you have, for example, that one had a countdown of 6. I put a 6-sided die, and every time they succeeded, I went down by 1 or 2, depending if they succeeded with hope, etc., etc. And there's a lot you can do with that. That was that environment. And then after the countdown went down to 0, I had a scene happen, blah blah blah. That's part of the adventure, whatever, we're not discussing that. And then the second environment, that I ran, the players were in a town hall, and there was a town meeting because people were deciding whether to leave the town or stand and fight. And the purpose of the environment was for the players to talk to the NPCs, get their point of views, and convince them to stay or go, depending on what the players wanted to do. And that environment ended once the players had talked to all the NPCs or just decided to leave the environment. There's a lot of things you can do with the environment. There's an environment for a bar scene. It's in the book. It's in the book. The book is in my hand, not in the computer. I didn't buy the PDF. I bought the physical book because I wanted to help out my local gaming store. What I did was I had an ability, because I also developed the environments for my one-shot myself. I had, and that ability I did take it from the book, because again the book gives a lot of ideas and how to create ones or how to adapt the ones that are already there. Spend 2 fear points to have a fight break out during the town hall, and then the player has to roll to avoid a random hit, and the player had to take a potion because one of the players almost died during that scene, and it was hilarious. Imagine like local hero going through the town hall and somebody decks them over the head with a with a share and then they bleed out. But since it's another game, the player character's love interest was in there. I had the love interest actually come in and stab the person that hit them, but not lethally, just on the side, but they were bleeding profusely. The player was able to calm down the people and get medical attention for that random person that was almost ran through with his sword. See, like the whole scene of the love interest coming in to stab a random NPC wouldn't have happened if the player hadn't failed that roll to get to another place and got hit over the head with a chair. The game has its ebb and flow, and you have to let it happen. Because since it's a collaborative narrative game, you need to let shit happen for you to react to it. I'm going back to being a game master because again, this is the chapter on creating monsters and environments. Keep your options open, and remember, not every fight needs to end with the monster's HP running down to 0. I did it for the last fight of this one shot because it was a demon and was gonna kill people, so it had to be put down. I had a corrupted owl bear that didn't have to be subdued, and the player did subdue them, but then they decided it's corrupted. If it wakes up, it might kill people, it might corrupt other people. They put it out of its misery. It was humane, and that's different. But you can do a lot with it. Just whenever you're gonna run this, be open to your players' ideas and don't be married to your own. What you can do, this is what I do in my own games, when the players have an idea but you would like for something else to happen, offer it. Tell the players, okay, we can do that. However, I'm thinking maybe you guys could do blah, and see what the players think. Because maybe the players are gonna be like, oh shit, that is a really good idea. Let's do what the game master wants us to do. And that's great. Obviously, you feel good because they listen to you. But if they don't, it's okay. If they say, you know what, we still want to do our idea, let them. It'll be fine. Because it's a collaborative storytelling game. I say that to finish with Chapter 4. It's really good because it basically gives you everything you might need to prepare monsters, create monsters, level up monsters, create environments, adapt environments, and even level up environments. Nothing else to say.